Good morning, Abshin. Before we continue our program, ladies and gentlemen, let us sing in Yao Sildale, the national anthem. Thank you. Thank you. While standing, let me invite on stage Pastor Paul Nzimande as Negazum.
Thank you. Without much ado, all protocol observed dignitaries, shall I invite all of us to prayer? We are united in one accord that we want to push back the frontiers of poverty, and to push back the frontiers of poverty, we want to create wealth. And in creating wealth, we want to invite the Almighty God to grant us the power to create wealth. And we invite him based on his promises. And his promise in the word, Deuteronomy 8, verse 18 is, "Thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, for it is he who gives you the power to create wealth." Father God, this morning we thank you for your promises. We thank you for your faithfulness. We invite you upon your word and upon your promises to grant us the power to create wealth, that we may push back the frontiers of poverty, of unemployment, and inequality. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.
Thank you, Pastor Paul. It's nice to pray in English. It's very short and straightforward, Comrade Kawunda. It's nice because if you go back to our places, Baba siyabonga. Ngeyimoto ezelapha. Sisuka endaweni zethu. And then you give it to the shembes, but me. Thank you so much. Mayoral Business Breakfast, ladies and gentlemen. I'm happy to be a program director because it's all about business. When we do our business in Johannesburg, we wake up early, and I can see here Mayor Wuti Abantu bavukile basekuseni, and I'm happy to see faces that I know in business, and it is good that eThekwini liya kwenye level in KZN. Asishali hlombe kakhulu ekuseni ukuthi sivukile, ladies and gentlemen. Let me invite on stage, opening and welcome eThekwini Economic Development and Planning Committee uchairperson uKhansela uSipho Kawunda eze ngaphambili. Simnike ihlombe Mr. Kawunda.
Thank you, Program Director. KwaZulu-Natal MEC of Economic Development, Tourism, Environmental Affairs, and Mr. Ravi Pillay, eThekwini Municipality Mayor, Mr. Mxolisi Kaunda, Councillor Kaunda, the Chair of Finance, the Speaker of eThekwini, the Chief Whip of eThekwini, and also councillors who are also present. Business chambers that are present here and other business formations that are represented, captains of industry, members of the media, extreme guests, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for this opportunity. We're meeting a few days before the day where we have to review, the public have to review our contract as local government. And we believe as a eThekwini municipality, we have set up the tone. We have set up all structures. Come the 1st of November, we are ready to hit the ground running in terms of the system that we've already created, led by our Mayor, Councillor Kaunda. It is a great pleasure to welcome you in this morning to the Mayoral Business Breakfast. As the eThekwini Municipality Mayoral, Councillor Kaunda will be unveiling a eThekwini Supply Development Fund program, as well as 2022 Africa Procurement Indaba. On behalf of the people of eThekwini, would like to extend our special thanks to the MEC Ravi Pillay for always availing himself to support the city many programs. As the leaders of eThekwini municipality, we highly appreciate your support. It came as no surprise last week that the News 24 Out of Order Index study declared eThekwini municipality as a leader in the delivery of services when you compare with other metros. Singumasipala waseThekwini, led by the African National Congress, the ANC, asimile siyaqhuba. I'm making this reference to these findings because the program, which will be unpacked by His Worship the Mayor in his address, the city's deliberate effort to accelerate economic empowerment and transformation, the economy to include those who were previously excluded by the brutal apartheid regime. As a caring government that works with all stakeholders, we understand the sectoral developmental needs and the role played by the business sector in fostering economic growth. We also understand that it is vital to provide an adequate support to the small, medium, and micro enterprise business to ensure that they better equipped so that they can able to strive in their economy. But I also must mention that a few years back, the provincial government, they've taken a decision to set aside a very important programs of the province. And we're hoping that the business, they've taken the opportunity to also play in that particular space. We are hoping that through the mayoral counter speech the last financial year, where you have made very clear in terms of the 10-point plan, that a certain percentage of the procurement spend of the city should go to small business. But as business chambers, we are well positioned to ensure that we evaluate the programs and the project that the government, they declare. Because another thing of saying, this is what we believe in, but when it comes to the actual programs, you'll find that business are still crying, business are still complaining, irrespective of the decision and policies that the government are taking. So lastly, I would like to remind you that the business sector is the backbone of the economy, and it has a potential to create jobs. We know that the unemployment is one of the major challenges facing our nation, and it required the collaboration between the government and the private sector. We remain committed to invest in development of the business and create conducive environment for economic growth. Indeed, working together, we can do more. Thank you very much.
Brother, thank you so much. They say when you wake up in the morning, if you do business, it is all about discovering your purpose. Why you're doing the business. Number two, they say it's important that you think big, think out the box, or think out of the box. And then number three, you demonstrate the power that God invested in you. So it's important that you wake up in the morning and know why you're in that business. Only in the business, just that you're just doing it for money, but you must have a passion because you are in that particular business. Ladies and gentlemen, let me invite on stage eThekwini Acting City Manager, Mr. Musambele, azositshela ukuthi why are you here, sizokwenzani, the purpose. Simnike ihlombe eze ngaphambili umbele.
Program Director, Babu Sotobe, siyabingelela ekuseni. The Member of Executive Council, Baba Uravi Pillay, responsible for economic development, tourism and environmental affairs. His Worship, the Mayor of eThekwini, Baba Councillor Umxolisi Kaunda, the leadership collective of the executive of eThekwini, various councillors, the chief executive officers of various companies, the leadership of KZN Growth Coalition, Obaba Tembe, Nobaba Ukepila, the leadership of provincial governments, the captains of industry that are part of the gathering here. Ladies and gentlemen, I greet you. We are gathered here to unveil progress on some of the most strategic elements contained in our Mayoral 10-point plan, which was outlined by His Worship the Mayor, Councillor Kaunda, during his budget speech statement. The Mayoral 10-point plan is our ambitious program of action aimed at institutionalizing the new normal and to drive radical economic transformation. The 10-point plan is our bold statement towards achieving what our former President Rolihlahla Mandela Isithwalandwe once said: poverty is not natural, it is man-made. It can thus be overcome through action by human beings. The greatest opportunity for realizing Africa's growth potential is often overlooked, despite the fact that those opportunities exist within our beautiful continent. Africa's ability to trade and do business within itself is an indication of the existence of such opportunities. What is required is an inward and outward strategy acting in tandem to cement Africa's place in the global economy through foreign investment and improved trading links, while internally driving regional trade integration. It is no coincidence, ladies and gentlemen, that Africa's recent growth was epitomized by Africa's rising labor, which is partly realized owing to increased levels of foreign direct investment. Improvement to fiscal policies, governance and regulatory frameworks, along with a move to diversify economies away from Africa's traditional commodities-based economies, they presented greater opportunities to foreign direct investors. If our continent is going to capitalize on this base, it needs to work together on its shared future. Our continent's development is underpinned by further regional integration and trade liberalization. His Worship the Mayor's visionary leadership has created opportunities for eThekwini to be at the forefront of pioneering initiatives that are aimed at supporting Africa's governments to trade and to develop an integrated regional trade economic transformation program that has 5 main key strategic pillars. Those pillars are eradicating poverty, inequality and unemployment, improving service delivery outcomes, localization of business opportunities through state-led enterprise supplier development program, developing the capacity of the state, developing a vibrant township and rural economy by social enterprises, SMMEs, and cooperatives. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to announce the purpose of today's session. We have gathered here today to unveil the Africa Procurement Indaba to be hosted in 2022 and eThekwini Enterprise Supplier Development Fund program. We note and applaud the recent National Treasury's decision to promote the local cement industry, and such initiative by the National Treasury has created exciting opportunities for us as the city. Through our Enterprise Supplier Development Fund program, we plan to engage our local cement industry to explore localization opportunities for our SMMEs and social enterprises. These 2 strategic interventions, ladies and gentlemen, will give a practical meaning to the vision that was first outlined by His Worship the Mayor of taking the city to global value chain heights. Through these initiatives, we are demonstrating our bold commitment to the establishment of institutional capacity to drive radical economic transformation. We have seen the unfortunate events of the month of July, which was symptomatic of, amongst other things, the challenges of lack of participation by the broader masses of our country in the economy. The initiatives that we are unveiling this morning, ladies and gentlemen, are a quantum leap towards partly addressing the challenges that we faced in the month of July. The visionary leadership of the city of eThekwini has realized that we cannot solve the problems that we faced in the month of July through a skit and donor. We have to really begin to intervene and intervene decisively in the space of economic transformation. And that journey continues here this morning. Thank you very much, Program Director.
Sabong Kulu Mbele. I want to behave, Comrade Mayor, but I received a call from heaven from Comrade Mandela. One time, what do you say, Ravi? How are you? Laga, eh? Hey, Laga in Devon, right? You Devon people are Lagading, right? Hey, one time I got one call from Madiba.
Linda, ndiyazi ukubana niyovota ucelele ukhawundi ukubana mayiwine i-ANC. I thank you.
Ngiyabonga. On my way here, I received a call from Umntwana Wapindange. Ngithokoza sibiya, yes. Mina ngise ANC namanje. Ngoba ngithi awangithembe ngithi abathembe ANC. Yes, ngiyabonga. Mangipaka Moses Tembe mangipaka lezansi ngithola icall kaNcamalala. Oh siyabonga. Oh ngizwile ukuthi lapha umxolisi uyokhuluma impela lapha eThekwini. Awu ngeke ngikwazi ukuza. Absolutely ngiyabonga baba. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to behave myself, Comrade Kaula. Ngicela sonke sime ngenyawo semukele our mayor, ukhansela uKhawunda eza ngaphambili. Shaya ihlombe elikhulu eza ngaphambili kwi Mayoral Business Breakfast.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. Hey, umshayeli umsholuzi. Sodobe. Umbeke kwakuyimpela. Thank you very much, Program Director. Our greetings to Honorable MEC Ravi Pillay, MEC for Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs in our province, Comrade Ravi. Our Honorable Speaker of the Municipality, Umama Utusi, the Chairperson of Economic Development in our city, Ubaba Ukawunda, Comrade Diana Woolzak, the Chairperson of Finance and Emergencies, our Chief Whip, Baba Ukabazela, who has been whipping us very well. Certainly, we recognize your whippery. Hence, we've been declared as the best performing metro in South Africa. Members of the executive present, Councillor Shelembe, the whip of finance, who's been very instrumental in the debates on issues relating to finance in our municipality. Sifisa ukubingelela kubaba uTembe, the co-chair in our province of the Growth Fund. We also wish to acknowledge Ubaba Andrew, who's with him, our senior management led by the city manager, Sompis, all the DCMs, deputy city managers are present today. Colleagues, we also wish to acknowledge the HOD of Etia, Ubaba Unhlakanipho Nkontwana, who's part of us today, Neville Machi, who's also present today from the investment wing of our KZN, Mr. Andy Lekoza, present from Stossdale, CEO. We also wish to recognize Ubabu Paul Ngema, the chairperson of NAFCOC, present, KZN Liquor Authority, Mr. Mfundo Tango, who's also present, Mr. Ntlantlangu from PRISA. We also wish to acknowledge Mr. Malus Zondi from Black Business Forum, but we also have our important guest present today from the Black Umbrellas, the CEO, Mr. Mark Franken, who's present, and your team, you are being recognized. All protocol is observed, ladies and gentlemen. Otherwise, I will take the whole day recognizing all of you. You are all important. Program Director, today is a very special day for the people of eThekwini as we unveil the Africa Procurement Indaba 2022, the API 2022, and the Enterprise Supplier Development Fund Program. We say this is a special day because we are giving practical meaning to the vision of taking the city to global supply chain, which we outlined in our budget policy statement that we made this year, that was approved by the Council in June. Today we are indeed laying a firm foundation for the social solidarity economy to thrive within our city. With this initiative, we are under no illusion that the face of the city's geopolitical economy will never be the same again. Since taking office almost 2.5 years ago, not and a half years, I'm sure few months, we have been a city that is truly hard at work to open opportunities for all participants to participate in the mainstream economy. The initiatives we are unveiling today clearly demonstrates our resolve to institutionalize and mainstream our radical socio-economic transformation program. Ladies and gentlemen, changes in today's global economic landscape mean that emerging markets must consider how they shape their futures. Many countries in the developed world have focused their efforts and resources inwards as a result of constrained economic environment. However, we must caution that a shift away from emerging markets will negatively impact the global economy's ability to grow in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, hosted under the theme, Enhancing Trade Integration and Social Economic Development in Africa through Efficient Local Procurement. That will be the theme of our Africa Procurement Indaba 2022. The Africa Procurement Indaba will bring together Africa's policymakers, innovators, thinkers, industry leaders, government and private sector spend across and many researchers and entrepreneurs to share ideas on how to leverage the government and private sector spend across our continent. We view procurement as a critical driver in improving intra-Africa trade, promote local manufacturing and sourcing, while at the same time helping to alleviate poverty, unemployment, and inequalities in our society. Ladies and gentlemen, the African Procurement Indaba is a collaborative effort between eThekwini Municipality and Procurement Performance Institute. Let me recognize its CEO, Mr. Nduduzo Ngema, who's also present today. Through this initiative, eThekwini will export best practice and procurement solutions to Africa. You will recall that Johannesburg is known for hosting the Africa Investment Conference, with Cape Town being the home to African Mining Indaba. Therefore, the Africa Procurement Indaba will position Durban, eThekwini, as a key player in providing procurement solutions in the continent. The Africa Procurement Indaba will provide the following. Firstly, insightful discussions on the policy and regulatory landscape affecting procurement and trade across Africa. We need to discuss this. How do we bring about the injection? If I can cite an example, in water department of eThekwini Municipality, we had a challenge of a valve which was vandalized, which then made the sewer to leak to the beach. And when we check, that valve is not developed here in South Africa. It's not developed here in Africa. We have to buy it from Canada. So therefore, it raises a challenge that as Africa, we need to bring about innovation. We need to make use of our own strength to bring about new things, invent things. But there are many opportunities in this regard that as eThekwini Municipality, you can go and lobby our partners there where we are spending billions and say, come and open a plant here in eThekwini so that Africa can easily benefit. So these are kind of interventions that will need to be brought enough in terms of how do we bring about change, and that change will need to be driven by the willingfulness of our own leadership as the leadership of the city, engaging provincial government and national government in that regard. A deep dive into the necessary reforms to modernize and advance procurement as an instrument for poverty alleviation. Deliberate intention to consolidate a transcontinental accord for preferential commerce within Africa. Through the Africa Procurement Indaba platforms, eThekwini is best positioned to introduce social procurement policy framework, promote continental trade integration through the establishment of an Africa Procurement Accord, establish Africa Procurement Center of Excellence in our city so that we lead by example, reform of public and private sector procurement practices to drive radical socio-economic transformation in our communities. In this regard, we intend with all these interventions to change the way we do our business. We've been through OSS, profiling poor households. We've been profiling them. These are the families that are really living in deep poverty. But what have we done to uplift those families? So our procurement should talk to that. How do we then empower our people to participate in the mainstream economy? To advance and share knowledge and best practices in procurement to achieve and maintain excellence in procurement, we need to be at the forefront of that. Promote high standards of professional skills, ethics, and integrity among all those engaged in procurement. Share knowledge in enterprise supplier development, SMMEs, suppliers, and procurement solution providers, as well as provide more than 1,000 African suppliers with an opportunity to exhibit local products and services at our Indaba. But it will also enhance tourism of our municipality, because people will be coming here in numbers. Our hospitality industry will also be benefiting in all this. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'll just stand here in front of you. I will play a 3-minute video which outlines further what I've already elaborated on. Can we have the video, please? Audio.
eThekwini municipality is forging ahead with its vision of taking the city to global supply value chains. This is outlined by His Worship the Mayor Councillor Mxolisi Kaunda during his inaugural budget speech and policy statement for 2020 to 2021 financial year. This is done through Africa Procurement Indaba API 2022, which is a collaborative initiative between the eThekwini municipality and Procurement Performance Institute. eThekwini municipality is forging ahead with its vision of taking the city to global supply value chains. This is outlined by His Worship the Mayor Councillor Mxolisi Kaunda during his inaugural budget speech and policy statement for 2020 to 2021 financial year. This is done through Africa Procurement Indaba API 2022, which is a collaborative initiative between the eThekwini municipality and Procurement Performance Institute Private Limited, a Durban-based innovative procurement solutions firm. API 2022 brings together Africa's policymakers, innovative thinkers, industry leaders, researchers, and entrepreneurs to share ideas on how to leverage the government and private sector spend across the continent as a critical driver for improving intra-Africa trade, promote local manufacturing and sourcing, as well as alleviate poverty, unemployment, and inequality. Africa Procurement Indaba 2022 aims to introduce social procurement policy framework, promote a continental trade integration through the establishment of an African Procurement Accord, establish Africa Procurement Center for Excellence in the city, reform a public and private sector procurement practices to drive a radical economic emancipation of communities, share knowledge and the best practices in procurement to achieve excellence, improve procurement capability across the public and private sector by developing better practice through the sharing of ideas and experience, promote high standards of professional skills, ethics, and integrity among those engaged in procurement, share knowledge in enterprise, supplier development, SMME, suppliers, and procurement solution providers. Provide 1,000 African suppliers with the opportunity to exhibit local products and services at the Indaba.
A big round of applause.
Africa Procurement Indaba 2022 aims to create
So we are just putting the meaning for why do we intend to have such a platform created for Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, with regards to Enterprise Supplier Development Fund Program, eThekwini Municipality has concluded all the processes of implementing a radical socio-economic transformation framework, our RED framework, that will provide opportunities to youth, women, people with disability, military veterans, social enterprises, and rural communities. This framework aims to ensure inclusion of citizens in the projects that are taking place in their respective wards, resulting in improvement of economic and social well-being of our poor communities. As part of this initiative, to accelerate the implementation of radical socio-economic transformation framework, the city commissioned development of a business case for its enterprise and supplier development programs that is underpinned by the establishment of an ESD fund program. The business case was commissioned with an aim of providing municipal leadership with an understanding of an existing ESD activities and how these can be accelerated to achieve high impact on the ground results for the benefit of its citizens. Ladies and gentlemen, as the leadership of the city, we strongly believe that in order to grow the economy, investment in local-based small enterprises should be prioritized in our programs. As part of our journey towards realizing our municipality's 2030 vision of accelerating economic empowerment and transformation, we plan to provide adequate support to SMMEs to ensure they compete not only for the city's projects, but also within the mainstream economy. Shuthi thina sihlosile ukwakha osomathenda kodwa sihlosa ukwakha osomabhizinisi ngoba kunomehluko phakathi komcebo nokuba rich. Owning wealth and becoming rich, those are two different things. So here we intend to ensure that we tamper with the ownership of wealth. So that's what we want to achieve as a city. Colleagues, to achieve this, we are going to be capitalizing on the eThekwini Enterprise Supplier Development Fund program of 50 million, and we intend to increase this contribution in future. This will be done in compliance with the revised broad-based Black Economic Empowerment Codes and enterprise and supplier developments of the broad-based Black Economic Empowerment scorecard, which will see the city invest over 540 million rands annually into this fund. We want to make a call to private sector to take advantage of this ESD fund platform by pledging support in order to ensure that we implement a truly integrated, world-class enterprise and supplier development program, which will focus on the following 4 key areas. Firstly, an infrastructure fund, where infrastructure suppliers will be supported with large-scale financing and strategic technical partnership resources. Awukwazi ukuthatha umuntu umfake kwi-deep end uthi akabhukude engakaze aqala ukubhukuda. So it's very important to institutionalize, to have mechanisms to fully support our SMMEs, cooperatives and social enterprises with these strategic technical resources. Secondly, an enterprise and supplier development fund targeted at 51% or more Black-owned SMMEs. Support will include working capital funding, technical development support, as well as access to markets. If you have empowered me but without giving me the market, so it's as good as not even intervening, because I'll have everything, I'll have capital, I'll have everything, but I won't be selling my product. So it's important that we create such, and we need to leverage from our own special economic zone, which we have created here at Dubai Trade Port. It is an opportunity for us as a city to utilize that. A youth fund focusing on development of youth-owned enterprises, job creation, and skills development. There's no dispute that young people are occupying the high ranks of unemployment in our city. ukuze abantu abasha bengakhali ngamathuba omsebenzi. Okuhleke thina njengedolobha laseThekwini uma usibuza ukuthi kule minyaka emihlanu lithini plan yethu ukukhanda amathuba omsebenzi, asikho confused, we are very clear. Sinohlelo esilakhile uhlaka lwethu le eThekwini Economic Recovery and Reconstruction Plan, and that plan gives details through the Mayoral 10-point plan, which gives the direction on where do we want to invest, how do we attract foreign direct investments, how many jobs will be created in each and every sector of the economy. So therefore, for us, it necessitates that we work together in this shared vision so that we are able to be responsive to the aspirations of the youth. Ladies and gentlemen, a social development fund for social enterprises across municipalities, rural and township economies. Sifuna ukuya emakhaya, emalokishini ngoba umnotho ilapho efanele siufukule khona ukuze ulusha lwakithi lungakhali ngokuthi lona lulahliwe luseyidakamizweni ngoba azikho inhlelo ezicacile ukuthi likhishwa kanjani kuyidakamizwa kuma drugs, likhishwa kanjani ophuzeni uphuzo olidaka ngokweqile. Ulusha lwakithi lithole lingena kuma social ills elingeke lisakwazi ukuzikhipha kuona. So kubalekile ukuthi ifocus yethu siyibhekisise lapha endaweni esemakhaya nasemalokishini. Kodwa priority yethu, this is youth centric, so we need to address this issue of unemployment, and not only employment. We want young people to become the innovators. We do not want them to look for jobs, but we want them to be skilled to create jobs. Our enterprise and supplier development program aims to accelerate socio-economic empowerment and intensify transformation, firstly by promoting opportunities and participation for black-owned enterprises, promoting the creation and empowerment of social enterprises, maximizing participation of youth, women, people with disability, and military veterans. Drive enterprise and supplier development to ensure black economic empowerment across the city's supply chain. Promoting skills transfer, mentoring, and training through strategic partnership with the private sector. Ensuring business development support and procurement through the supplier development program. Ladies and gentlemen, it is through eThekwini's Enterprise and Supplier Development Fund that local entrepreneurs will be able to build businesses that can usher us into a future of inclusivity, sustainability, and greater human dignity within the entire city of eThekwini. Let us continue to hold hands to make eThekwini the most caring and livable city by 2030. We want to take this opportunity to thank our administration team, led by the acting city manager for working around the clock to give life of these initiatives. I'm sure, Sompisi, it has not been an easy journey to work with the mayor, ongafuni kuphunyulwe, umayor ongafuni kulalwe, ocabanga bonke abantu baphila sengathi bayizinsimbi. Kodwa at the end of the day, we'll achieve all these things. Today is a truly day for celebration, and we are pleased that we'll now be able to report to our President, Oliver Tambo, Nelson Mandela, Mama Winnie Madikizela Mandela, Albertina Sisulu, and many other leaders, that one day, that in eThekwini we defied the natural fate Frantz Fanon so eloquently describes about the fate of black middle class that takes over from the colonial oppressor. Let me quote this great revolutionary. The national middle class, which takes over power at the end of the colonial regime, has practically no economic power, and in any case, it is in no way commensurate with the bourgeoisies of mother country which it hopes to replace. Neither financiers nor industrial magnates are to be found within the national middle class. The national bourgeoisie of underdeveloped countries is not engaged in production, nor in invention, nor building, nor labor. It is completely canalized into activities of the intermediary type. The psychology of the national bourgeoisie is that of the businessman, not that of a captain of industry. And it is only too true that the greed of the settlers and the system of embargoes set up by colonialism have hardly left them any other choice. I close quote. We are proud to declare that in eThekwini municipality, we have defied this fate and have put practical institutionalized mechanism to ensure our economy works for the city and all her people, black and white, because eThekwini belongs to all who live in it, but prioritizing blacks in general, Africans in particular. We are indeed humbled and remain true to the mission of the African National Congress's historical mission of creating an inclusive economy and a better life for all. I thank you. I'll request that the video get played immediate after MEC Ravi Pillay address. I'm now going to introduce to you the son of the soil, Ubaba Ravi Pillay, a revolutionary, not just someone who gets deployed in government because the ANC likes him, but someone who has earned these revolutionary credentials in our country, leading during the difficult times of our revolution. So today, he has been deployed by the ANC as the leader in government, started by being deployed in public works and human settlement, as you know him, left that department, get redeployed. He's a tool of the ANC, a usable tool of the ANC, the real one. He went to finance department. He has done wonders there to improve how the province performs. Now he is leading the economy of our province. Let us rise and welcome our MEC for Economic Development, Tourism, as well as Environmental Affairs. Baba. Akube khona ke woza ke usanitize mfuthu.
You please be seated. I must say that in normal circumstances I would have to say much more than I'm going to say, but just like the Fundis who got the memo about time, I also got the memo. And I think you know that we need to be at Toyota to receive the President and the Premier very, very soon. So please forgive us that we will have to work things within that particular time constraint. I'd even be tempted to comment on Mr. Sibia's messages from heaven, but not today. So Program Director, thank you very much. Our Mayor, Mkolisi Kaunda, our Speaker, Wezi Watusi, both now seasoned veteran cadres of our movement. Executive Committee member, Mr. Sipho Kaunda, Executive Committee member, Diane Hurzuk, Chief Whip, other councillors present, Trade and Investment CEO, Mr. Neville Markey, leaders of organized business formations. And I'm pausing there to, I'm not going to list each of you, but definitely you are going to be at the cutting edge of tackling some of the key issues which we need to. Because the leaders of the various business formations are the ones who need to show that interaction and a real social compact that we talk much about, but we need to see more in actual practice. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends, it's an absolute pleasure to be here this morning, and I convey very warm greetings from our Premier, Sihle Zikalala, who obviously knows where we are every day and understands the critical importance of the work that we are doing here today. So these two events that we seek to recognize, launch, and indeed celebrate the Africa procurement in Indaba and the Supplier Development Fund are again two examples that put into practical implementation the ideas that we speak so often about. And even then, the implementation, to the extent that it has impact on the beneficiaries that we seek to have impact on, will be the true test of the value of our work. So congratulations on that, and while we are congratulating, let me too, and I'm sure, Mayor, it must, even when those reports were made, I could see that people were, it was a bit bitter in the mouth to say that Tegweni is the best metro in the province. And it was, I think, tucked away in the middle and the bottom of the article. So congratulations. Not to forget the AAA credit rating by the international credit rating agencies. So we must claim that, as we do today, but also make sure that we maintain it, so that we're not this reckless leadership that some forces would seek to portray us like. So congratulations on that. So I would like to start on a bit of positive note about some of the things that are happening in our province. Yesterday, the Premier and I were present at a company called Tetra Pak, which is a Swedish-owned company, and they invited us there to do the sword turning on a 500 million rand investment in their Pinetown factory that will expand their operation. And this is cutting-edge technology in the packaging industry. Today, of course, as I said, the Mayor and I will be going to join the Premier and the President in the launch of Toyota's new Toyota Cross, is it? The new model line, production line. That too represents a major investment in our province. Recently, I visited SAPI, where they were dealing with their 6 billion rand expansion. It's not only, of course, there are several others in the Tegweni, but not only Tegweni, and Richards Bay is fast competing with you, Mayor, and there are several investments there that are taking shape. In fact, the Richards Bay IDZ has some 11 billion rand worth of investment under rollout. Nyanza Light, for example, and Wilma Processing, a oil processing factory, both, I think that's between 5.6 billion rand, is underway. Not ideas, not planning, in construction. We finally, fingers crossed, that Richards Bay Mining is back into operation, and their 6 billion rand Zulti South operation expansion is now rolling out and underway. So these are all positive things for our province, which we have to build upon, and Mayor, you are adding to that. So it's about confidence. Let's not make any doubt about that. It's about confidence that things can happen and will be sustained in our province and our country. And confidence doesn't just come down by accident. It has to be built. It has to be earned. And so we say that, so we can't sweep the unrest under the carpet. Everywhere I go in engaging and bringing new investments, I have to, and the Premier has to deal with it in an open, transparent, and credible way. And we do that. We analyze it, why we think it happened, why it won't happen again. We look at the security issues. We look at the N3 and N2, which, by the way, I hope the N3 today is not going to be an issue. And we hope the security agencies will be able to deal with that. We look at how we responded, and that's to our credit. As bad as it was, our ability to mobilize and restore with the speed that we did, I think, is a sign of great hope and confidence. It showed resilience, it showed patriotism, and many of the corporates were quick to say that no, they hear the message about reassurance, rebuild, reinvest, and they are responding positively to it, and not just for one or two reasons, for several reasons. Firstly, that they think we can do it, but most importantly, we must start to appreciate the strategic nature of the province of KwaZulu-Natal. It is too strategic and valuable to allow to slide into any kind of chaos. The Durban Harbour and the Richards Bay Harbours are two strategic strengths that we have that we need to learn how to leverage to maximize the development of our province. 60% of our imports and exports go through those two harbours. And we must start to really understand what that means. In fact, the unrest period made many people to start to really understand the logistics of our supply chain. When I speak to ordinary communities, and Mayor, I think that's a conversation in communities that's important, because, and I'm pleased that there is regret and understanding that what happened was wrong. But when we speak to them, we make them understand that this item that's on the shelf is not miraculously there. And it's not automatic that it will be there the next day and the next week, and the massive supply chain logistics that make those trucks go in and out on a daily basis to keep that going. And that was demonstrated very vividly in this week too. But we were able to recover pretty speedily, and that because I think we as a people and as a province have what it takes. I may report very briefly, and maybe there's another platform that we'll set up for that we've been working with SASRIA very, very vigorously to make sure that the SASRIA, the insurance funds, flow to those who are covered by insurance. And then the uninsured component, which is also coordinated by DTIC, the Small Business Development, CIFA, and to a certain extent the NEF, that coordinated report back to claimants is made. But we are pleased with the progress that we've seen, and we think that the flow of that relief fund has started to happen and will conclude very, very soon. But we also need to deal with our risks. And in as much as there's been a great improvement, Mayor, the phenomena of, let me call them unregulated business forums, is still there. We receive several reports, and we'll have to deal with them. But I'm sure that's why I come back to the leadership of all the business formations that are here or who are not here, because we need to show that leadership in bringing that under control. Because that's what eats away at our confidence. If we didn't have that kind of leaking of confidence, I have no doubt that we would have an exponential expansion of our economy. Let me give you two examples, because we are the ones in this room. In eThekwini, we are 60%, almost 60% of the economy of KZN. So what happens in eThekwini determines what happens in the province. And to a large extent, because of the N3, N2, what happens in KZN determines what happens in the country. So when you have an example like in Richards Bay Minerals, not just one, more than one executive were killed. It's a problem. It makes international headlines. Just last week in Ladysmith, I won't mention the name of the company, but an international company, two executives were traveling and they were shot at. Fortunately, one just got a leg injury. But yesterday I was dealing with correspondence that was saying that this company is reporting to its head office, which because of time zones mean they have to do it at 2 o'clock in the morning South African time, to report on this incident, and what confidence we as a state are giving that we are dealing with this matter in a credible way. So when we get back to the roots of those particular issues, it's going to require all of us to work in a very, very credible way to say, no, this is not us as KZN. We are a leading, and we want to be a leading province. We want to be a cutting-edge province with the kind of initiatives that the mayor has just outlined, or the city is outlining outlining today. On that score, I want to say, we need to develop a very clear narrative. And when the mayor explains the approach to radical economic transformation, it's absolutely correct, because economic transformation and economic growth are two sides of the same coin. You're not going to be able to have one at the expense of the other. We have to show the ability to achieve both. Otherwise, you're not going to win, basically, and I don't have time to go into the detail of that. But part of that narrative is this use of labels. And Mayor, I want to be provocative today. This use of labels. Because on the one hand, there'll be those who will want to describe all our legitimate and absolutely necessary transformation efforts as some kind of corrupt RET. There'll be those who want to describe it like that. On the other hand, there'll be those who want to describe almost any business initiatives as some part of white monopoly capital. Now, those things are real. There is white monopoly capital, and there is corrupt RET. There's no doubt about it. But the vast majority of us are outside those extremes, who are patriotic South Africans who want to achieve the economic growth and transformation that is absolutely critical. So we must reject those extreme labels, because it kills debate. It kills debate as to what can work. And the vast majority of patriotic South Africans that we are outside those extremes, that's the challenge for us to rise and take that space, claim our space, lead our city, lead our province to the kind of prosperous society that our people demand and we need. There are many practical examples that we could go through. I mean, the clothing and textile industry, I think, is a very good example, where you have a clothing and textile master plan, where the big companies are committing to local content. And we must be honest that the clothing industry was decimated. At one time, we were employing 300,000 people in this province. I think it fell to 43,000. And largely decimated because of cheap imports against which we were not able to compete. Today, there's a clothing and textile master plan where the major suppliers are committing to local content. I think it's going up to 65% local content, from a local content low as 30%. That means that a Leli Kumalo in Msinga can get an order from Foshini's and employ hundreds of people in a rural setting. Or a small business in Port Shepstone that was employing 35 people can get an order from Woolworths, and today is employing 350 people. That's what we mean by promoting local production. In the first weeks of COVID, I think 95% of us would have been wearing masks that were made in China. There's absolutely no reason today that we should be wearing a mask that's made in China. Surely we have the ability to produce our own masks. And that local production theme is something that has to permeate all our thinking, and is the essence of localization when the mayor or anyone else speaks of it. So let me wrap up by saying we as a province have a economic recovery plan. We've disaggregated our economy into 14 sectors. We don't want to have a spray and pray approach. We must have an approach for that sector that talks to the needs and dynamics of that particular sector. I'm absolutely confident that eThekwini's plan will dovetail into that provincial-wide plan. We must be very grateful that we're a diversified economy. We don't rely on one or two issues. I mean, we're unlike Venezuela, as progressive as it might have been. When the oil price crashed, the economy crashed. We are a diversified economy, and we have the opportunity to develop all of it in order to counterbalance strengths and weaknesses as they happen in the real world of the economy. The final point I want to make is, Mayor, and again we look to eThekwini to take the lead. Local government is critical to our economic recovery. Water is a key economic issue. My hometown, as many of you would know, is in Port Shepstone in the Ugu district, which for some time now has been going through a severe water crisis. How do we market the tourism of the South Coast if the basic water supply is the challenge as it is? So that talks to the strength of local government, the ability of local government to deal with the basics. And when we talk about renewal, it can't be just lip service. I think one of our leaders says renewal will be painful but necessary. So the credibility of our message around renewal is going to be quite important, and ultimately can only be matched by our action. So eThekwini again must set the pace and the example for all the municipalities in our province as we go forward. And we want to say to them that local economic development, or economic development generally, must become a key pillar of your act, beyond your corporate services, your basic services. What else do you have? Finance. How many portfolios do you have? Your economic development portfolio and its machinery must become central to the work of local government, because it is firstly common sense that it should be in your own interest that happens, and secondly, it's in the national and best public interest. So congratulations, Mayor, on your achievements. You are indeed setting the pace, and through eThekwini, we will reclaim our space as KZN, as a leading province in our country. Thank you for listening. May God bless each and every one of you.
We at the eThekwini municipality believe that in order to grow the economy, investment in local small enterprises. We at the eThekwini municipality believe that in order to grow the economy, investment in local small enterprises should be prioritized. As part of our journey towards realizing our municipality's 2030 vision of accelerating economic empowerment and transformation, we plan to provide adequate support to SMMEs to ensure they can compete not only for the city's projects but also within the mainstream economy. We are establishing a eThekwini Enterprise Supply Development Fund, which will focus on 4 key areas, including an infrastructure fund, where infrastructure suppliers will be supported with large-scale financing and strategic technical partnership resources. An enterprise and supplier development fund targeted at 51% or more black-owned SMMEs. Support will include working capital funding, technical development support, as well as access to markets. A youth fund focusing on the development of youth-owned enterprises, job creation and skills development. A social development fund for social enterprises across the municipality's rural and township economies. Our enterprise and supplier development program aims to accelerate socio-economic empowerment and intensify transformation by promoting opportunities and participation for black-owned enterprises, promoting the creation and empowerment of social enterprises, maximizing participation of youth, women, people with disabilities and military veterans, drive enterprise and supplier development to ensure black economic empowerment across the city's supply chain, promoting skills transfer, mentorship and training through strategic partnerships with the private sector, ensuring business development support and procurement through the supplier development program. It is through eThekwini's Enterprise and Supply Development Fund that local entrepreneurs will be able to build businesses that can usher us into a future of inclusivity, sustainability, and greater human dignity within the entire city. Let's work together to make eThekwini the most caring and livable city by 2030.
Sawankulu Mayor, Sawankulu MEC, Mr. Ravi Pillay, ladies and gentlemen. Let me invite on stage Kuma messages of support. Ngela Umnumzane, Neville Maji, Trade and Investment, La KwaZulu Natal. Simnezi Zihlombe, Ezangaphambili Mr. Neville.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Baba Mayor, senior leadership from eThekwini Municipality. Can I safely say all protocol observed? My MEC Ravi Pillay, I think is rushed off to Toyota. Mayor, I want to take this opportunity to applaud eThekwini Municipality for this decisive move that will see and drive the agenda of procurement reform within government. If government does not do business or does not, and if government and business do not commit to buying local, then the localization agenda is as good as dead. Let us applaud this radical move by eThekwini Municipality, which will seek to become the leader in the creation of jobs within South Africa. I think they deserve a big round of applause. Mayor, I must indicate that the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition has also announced and has designated products for 100% local content, which means that these products are produced and are supposed to be produced within South Africa with local content requirements. We need to also push the DTIC because they've only identified 40 products. We need to push the DTIC that they increase the number of products that require local content at 100% or 80%. Mayor, what is said is that the response to the localization agenda, and I'm just going to quote really from what has been widely communicated, and detractors tend to say it is risking contravening non-discriminatory obligations contained in the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, the Economic Partnership Agreement between the EU and SADC. But within that framework, I believe that the agenda of localization is a decisive agenda that seeks to create jobs. And how can a move that seeks to create jobs really contravene policy unless we, the designers of that policy, are not willing to change the policy so that we create jobs? The agreements, particularly the intra-Africa trade, the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, seeks to realize intra-Africa trade, which currently is sitting at 16%, 16%, purely because we are so reliant on the foreign markets doing business with us rather than intra-Africa trade. And with such a move by eThekwini Municipality, we will realize an increase in as far as the share of South African products, particularly from eThekwini Municipality, within the continent. But that agenda, driven by this procurement indab, should transcend through to the other countries as well. My MEC announced that yesterday we were at Tetra Pak, and I was speaking to the CEO of Tetra Pak, and he said to me, Neville, for me to export packaging material to Botswana, packaging material to Tanzania, packaging material to Ghana, I accrue between 15 to 25% duty of product that is manufactured here in eThekwini. But those countries, when they import product from China, from India, zero duty. Where is transformation within that? Where is the promotion of intra-Africa agenda? Please remember, ladies and gentlemen, that trade policy needs to be a source of the creation of jobs and expansion of industrial economy. I stand here, Mayor, and the city leadership, as directed by my boss, MEC Ravi Pillay, and I want to commit as Trade and Investment KwaZulu-Natal to support the initiative to achieve decisive job creation. We will support eThekwini Municipality in the packaging of investment opportunities linked to the identified sector associated with the decisive move announced today by eThekwini. We will also support the identification and support of black industrialists that will be positioned to take these opportunities forward. We will push our partners, funders, because we are not a bank, but we need to push our bankers, Itala, KZN Growth Fund, IDC, NEF, and others to become supporters of realizing these opportunities. Ladies and gentlemen, these are just from my side a few words of support to say, well done, eThekwini Municipality. And please remember, ladies and gentlemen, Monday is an important day. Please vote for a new community. A new community, you can abbreviate it. I'll leave it to you. Congratulations to eThekwini Municipality under the leadership of Mayor Kaunda. I again believe they deserve a big round of applause. I thank you.
Voting for a new community. Neville, come on. We know what you're saying. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. With my messages of support, let me invite on stage we PPF umongameli umalusi Zondi unondaba ezengaphambili with messages of support. Thank you. Oh. Asimne ihlamba again ulana umongameli malusi.
Thank you, leadership. Greetings to everyone. Naze nabahle bafowethu. Cela nishele izandla nje mina ehlangothini lami. We would like to appreciate the platform. Greeting to the MEC, Uravi Pillay. Greetings to acting city manager wethu, Ubaba Musampele. Sibingelele kubaba wethu, uMeya. Wethe kumxolisa uKhaunda. Sibingelele kuSpeaker. Sibingelele nakuChief Whip. Sibingelele uzakwethu osomabhizinisi. Bese ngithi all protocol observed. Tinage, where we are, we would like to appreciate the platform. We were known previously as Amatela Ngokubona. We were then further known as black mafias, construction mafias, thugs, hooligans. But today we are standing here in eThekwini municipality being integrated in Telanshali. We walked a very long journey with the officials. Today I want to thank and appreciate Ubaba, Philip Stole, Ubaba Uthulani Nzama, Umama Uzandile Stole, Nobaba Andrew Peterson. Bese ngifuna ukusho lokhu ukuthi as we are standing here, it wasn't going to be a nice thing if kuthiwa besamadela ngokubona besiqasa buzuba uphekayo la. But as we are standing here today, we want to appreciate because although we did what we did before in 2015, but it was simply a realization of a black child. Ours, we wanted to see a black child participating in their own development. Ours, when we started this, we said there will be nothing about us without us because there is a content. But why are we not implementing the content that is there? It's becoming rhetoric on our stand. Therefore, we said, there shall be nothing about us without us. Then we did what we did. However, there is no reason for Dakarism. There is no space for Dakarism. All of us must unite. We need investor confidence. We cannot promote any Dakarism where we see our officials being brutally bullied in offices. That's one we won't stand anymore. We are standing there and we are saying no one is going to be appreciated when radical economic transformation is hijacked. We want to implement policies, but ours is to make sure that these policies do change to accommodate a black child in the streets, a black child in rural areas, a black child in township, a black child in urban areas. There shall be no child that does not participate in big contracts, because these children of ours are educated, therefore they shall be aligned in the mainstream economy. So we want to appreciate today Nduduzo Ngema, because we have seen all procurements, but today we are standing here, we are proud, because when we go to Gauteng, they refer to eThekwini municipalities. When we go to Mpumalanga, they refer to eThekwini municipalities. We said, laba ngabe bakopela kusoba befunda nje. We want to bring investor confidence, and we want to say we are going to support this program. Thank you, Mayor. We want to see in the next coming 2 years, at least, practically speaking, women participating international. Trade investment, KwaZulu-Natal, thank you guys. We know you are for radical economic transformation. We know also Durban Chamber of Commerce and the captains of industries. Ours is to unite together. We've seen through looting that we need one another. We are going to make sure as Black Business Federation, let me say this, we've been in a very serious partnerships with the captains of industry. We chose to rebrand ourselves because we saw that we cannot be called on a certain team, because most people nearly thought Federation for Radical Economic Transformation was a certain political cloud. But we said, no. We cannot in our lifetime see an Indian as our enemy, see a white person as our enemy. To drive an economy that is integrated and a growing economy, we need one another. Hence, we rebranded in December, and the MEC Ravi Pillay was present. We called ourselves Black Business Federation. That was to realize that we need one another, and we are willing to make sure that there shall be no side stoppages. We understand we have made a blunder, because maybe through us, some jobs were lost in the process. Maybe through us, yes, some lives were lost. However, we want to make sure that in an economic recovery plan that's currently also this program is bringing to us, we are standing firm as Amadela Ngokubona to say no more side stoppages in our economy, particularly in eThekwini. If a battle is needed, a battle shall go to treasury. Those policies must be transformed. Yeah. They need to be aligned. Our officials are bringing development, and we want to fight the very same officials who are bringing development. No. This thing now has ended. I am standing firm as their president to say, no more. There is a hotline we are bringing. We don't care which tag you are. We are the ones that are going to deal with those who are doing that. However, we are not promoting red tapes. We are not promoting any resistance. Please, let this be a willing engagement. Let this be a willing partnership for us to make sure that willingly our communities are developed. Let us do it willingly. There is now a supplier program which intends to promote, motivate, fund all these SMMEs. Let us all unite and give opportunities, not only through funding, but the market. There is no business that can be driven proper, have profit margins which are accurate without a proper market. There is no business that can survive without payments. Most businesses, particularly Black businesses, are dying a natural death because they are not paid. Please, officials, private sector, we know you're good. Let's see businesses prospering. There is a grant. We are willing, we are pledging our message of support to eThekwini municipality, to the private sector, to our colleagues. Let's KZN go forward. Let's eThekwini municipality remains number one. I thank you.
Thank you so much, my brother. So it doesn't be Ihlombe. And this is powerful. Hey, but tell one more But I'm so happy, my brother, Zone the President. You know, even if you, as we do business sometimes in Johannesburg, Bumalang, one guy I remember, Humo, Umusud, that is Sibia. Margo Teben, Marle Outile, Himanadela, ya Bulaya, man. So today to see you here and Ukulma very positive, it's good. It means something for eThekwini. This is very powerful. Again, a message of support, ladies and gentlemen, from NAFCO, KZN, Mr. Paul Ngema, Madlagovu, Naezenga Pambel. Thank you.
Program Director, MEC, I know that the MEC has already left, but I still have to acknowledge him. MEC Ravi Pillay, Honorable Mayor, Kaunda, Madam Speaker, Mamuwezi Wetusi, Acting City Manager, Mr. Musa Mpele, our sister chambers, Black Business Forum, Durban Chamber of Commerce and Industry and Trade KwaZulu-Natal, and all representatives, ladies and gentlemen. Sanbonan, siyabonga ukuthola leli thuba. Alandele bani leli thuba esilitholayo. Siyabonga kakhulu. We thank everyone here. We thank the mayor, Ubabu Kaunda, for working with us at all times. As NAPCO KZN, as you all know, that NAPCO is one of the oldest chambers, goes back 1964. We are delighted and honored to be part of this Mayoral Business Breakfast unveiling a eThekwini Supply Development Fund program and African procurement indaba. We unequivocally support what has been said, and it cannot come at a better time than this period where COVID-19 pandemic and looting savaged our province, the metro and business fraternity at large. Mayor Kaunda, your innovative business emancipation programs, together with your progressive ideas, especially those that enhance entrepreneurship development, in particular the SMEs, who constitute the engine of our economy, is what is needed most. It is worth stating also that as NAPCO, through our vertical and horizontal integration programs, we have recently bought Galvano Textile Factory in Hammersdale, and as a result managed to save 350 jobs. And we are in a and I can confirm that today from here we will be going to on site, because this project has been financed by IDC through the help of the government. And we are in a trajectory path to create more direct and indirect jobs through yarn, cotton, and wool farming. I know the MEC Ravi Pillay, when he was here, could see put a lot of emphasis on localization, which we need most. We as NAPCO took it upon ourselves to practice localization, which is vital for our struggling economy. It is worth noting too that Africa Procurement Indaba will go a long way to stimulate trade in Africa, especially after the creation of Africa Trade Zone. Let us discover our continent. I know that we have a tendency, even if we want to take some holidays, we always want to go abroad. When we refer abroad as perhaps going to America, USA, United Kingdom. I'm a person who is involved in, through NAPCOC, my sector is tourism. I'm in tourism. And I've always urged people that let us discover Africa. Because normally when we travel abroad, people ask you, have you been to Tanzania? Because Africa is rich with resources. We wish to salute the mayor and his team who have made great strides towards working with us. When I'm saying with us, with all the black business chambers. The gentleman who was here before me, he echoed really in a special way, because some of the things that has happened in the past is because some of our suggestions were falling on deaf ears. I've always say, even if we'll be far ahead, even if come with our economy, if right from the onset the government worked with indigenous people of this country, even to create all these BEE status, which are now, because even these BEE systems, they create barriers. Even if we are in the construction industry, you still have to qualify, you must have X amount of money to qualify. So, but I can see that things now, they are start changing. The government at large, especially local municipalities, metros and district municipalities are working with local black business, which we appreciate a lot. So I'm really saying thumbs up, Babu Mayor. Sikushayela ihlombe ngesenzo sakho. Sikubonile usimema sisonke singomabhizinisi lapha eThekwini kwi-district yakho, wasifaka nakwi-Economic Council ukuthi nathi singene kulama work streams sisebenze kuwona ukuze nathi uzwe ukuthi yini esikufunayo. This is the only way where we can always grow the so-called the buzzword township economy, township economy, township economy. I wish that all the municipalities, especially these municipalities, will work with their local business people so that they can really promote what we need, more jobs and jobs. But at the same time, we need more entrepreneurs. We need more, not just jobs. We need entrepreneurs. People want to grow the economy. We must have enough base of business people, especially the small business. The small business are the people who are creating employment, not big business. I wish to thank you, Mayor. I'm saying thanks up again. If we can give Mayor another round of applause, I'll be very happy. Thanks very much. Program Director.
Sawubona kakhulu kumadlokovu, ladies and gentlemen. Another message of support, Durban Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Yolen Nagur. Simneke ihlombe eza ngaphambili. Thank you.
Program Director, His Worship Mayor Kaunda, Deputy Mayor Diane Huzuk, Councillor Sipo Kaunda, MEC Ravi Pillay, Councillor Wezi Ntusi, Acting City Manager Mr. Musa Mbele, KZN Road Lishan, Mr. Moses Temba and Andre Kapila, Deputy City Managers, City Leadership, Business CEOs, and media present today. I bring greetings on behalf of the President, Mr. Nigel Ward, and CEO Palesa Pili, who can't be here this morning. The Durban Chamber of Commerce and Industry acknowledges the effort that our local government has made during this extraordinarily challenging time. through the supportive programs geared towards recovery. As organized business, we believe the unveiling of the Africa Procurement Indaba and the eThekwini Supplier Development Fund program is a great step towards promoting economic prosperity for the city of Durban and our international partners. As a representative of the business community, our role is to ensure we support and participate through lobbying, business networking, and advocating for initiatives that are geared towards developing and investing in our economy. The Durban Chamber of Commerce and Industry welcomes the Africa Procurement Indaba, aimed at creating a partnership between African governments, civil society, academia, and business in order to identify and address regional integration, poverty alleviation, SMME development challenges within the continent. As organized business, we are committed to promoting intra-African trade, promoting high standards of ethics and integrity, and promoting enterprise supplier development. The Durban Chamber of Commerce is committed to the transformation of SMMEs into reliable suppliers and sustainable businesses, creating market linkages between small and large businesses. We believe focusing on skills development, mentorship, access to markets, and access to finance is essential to SMMEs. Given the objectives of the eThekwini Enterprise Supplier Development Fund program, the Durban Chamber of Commerce and Industry welcomes this program. We believe this program will help accelerate socioeconomic empowerment and intensify transformation. As organized business, our core mandate is to lobby and advocate on behalf of business. We are committed to creating a platform for both public and private sector to have robust dialogues on promoting economic growth and creating a favorable business environment. And the event today is truly a testament of that mandate. We look forward on engaging on the above initiatives and working closely with the public and private sector to ensure we reach workable solutions. In closing, as the Durban Chamber, we are confident that the Africa Procurement Indaba and eThekwini Enterprise Supplier Development Fund program will yield positive results for the recovery of our province and, more importantly, the investment in our city. I thank you.
Thank you, Yellen. Ladies and gentlemen, we only have 2 speakers and then we will enjoy our breakfast today. Let me invite on stage from PPF, Advocate Okaye Tengo Ezengapambel. Thank you.
Greetings. Good morning, colleagues. Greeting to the MEC in absentia, Comrade Mayor Kaunda Mbimbi, and all the protocol is observed, Madam Speaker, and all the Executive of Council, Acting City Manager, Sombisi. I greet you all, colleagues. I see the attorneys here. You know, when they are attorneys, you know that you are safe. Andile Koza, Mlaba, colleagues, on behalf of PPF, Asen Comrade Mageba Lapa, on behalf of PPF, we just want to reaffirm our commitment to the city. We have been involved with the city, especially when Comrade Kaunda came to the fore. We have sat with him and we've outlined our support as well as the involvement in terms of what we expect as professionals and what would be our engagement. We've sat down with his budget deliberations, and we involved with the council as well, with the Economic Council. So we have made it clear that our support is not just merely a support because we are aligned with African National Congress. Our support is a tangible support which is based on the outcomes and the desired outcomes for our members. Our members are people who have specialized training in their respective fields, so it's important that they are recognized and partake in this development. So our reaffirming or reconfirmation for today is that we should not be on the sidelines. We should be able to partake and be able to say that we are part of this and this is the outcomes that we can take out of this. So we are really committed that a city and the KZN government is going to be really known for these two interventions. As Councillor mentioned, that Cape Town is really known for this mining conference. Everybody around the region, around the continent, and somewhere else, they come to Cape Town for that conference. So we really want that the city position itself for this, and the main beneficiaries of them, of those people, of those two interventions, will be business people and the community. It's not only for certain individual only. We need to see the inclusive economy, which does not only cater for who's who. We need people that, even those that are not recognized, that are sitting in somewhere in the villages, they can be able to see the procurement as the instrument and the tool that they can also benefit. So we really support the Africa procurement endeavor, and we want to be fully behind it, and we want to see the result come first few years of its implementation. We want to say we were there, and we want to see more results that benefit all Sandras, that benefit even the people in the lower ladder of our community. They must be able to benefit. The enterprise, eThekwini Supply Development Fund, it's a fund that need to not only be seen to be accessed by certain individuals. It should be the fund that is a fund for all the people that have been previously disadvantaged. We want to see the fund benefiting the youth. Let's localize our township and our economy. Let's make sure that the women benefit from this fund. And we have seen that all of this good intention, they just come one or two people want to spoil it because they just want to give it to their friends. eThekwini must not do that. If we're calling people and say this is what we want to do for the community, for the benefit of everyone, let everybody benefit. Thank you so much. Amandla.
Thank you, Advocate. Looking good, looking dapper. It's nice, looking nice, man, bruh. That's nice. I think, again, maybe my comment as a program director, it's important that we come out from our comfort zone and do businesses in Africa. In 2017, I was in Africa, in Ghana. I'm doing training. I'm accredited in terms of radio broadcasting and other things on TV and film. The way they welcome you in Africa, but you have to be very careful. But the way they welcome you, if you're from KZN or you're from South Africa. I'm going to Nigeria next month in November, again doing the training. So it's important. Do business in KZN, do business in South Africa, but go to Africa. Again, I'm making a lot of money in training in Mpumalanga, Free State, and other provinces. Don't look just for eThekwini kuphela, but go out of your province and see other people how they do it. There are hustlers out there. You will see, you learn one or few things and then come back and then do that in your province. I have a school in Richards Bay, Magic Broadcasting Academy, but what I've learned from other countries or other provinces, the way they do business is powerful. I'm marketing myself, I'm in business, I'm a hustler. So pushing myself, nigga, come on. So no, clap your hands, I'm pushing myself, come on. But what is important is that you have to maximize the moment and think out of the box and meet other people. There's a guy that I met in Ghana, Coach Olabi from Stanley. They gave me something, but there you can see the way they welcome fresh ideas. You know, in broadcasting, my 20 years of radio and television, it working wonders because I'm the only one. I'm like, wow, this is good for me. Kuvundile akho muntu la, and it's good. So please go to other provinces and work. In Free State, I'm working in East London. I'm doing business in Umtata, etc. But don't focus in one province. Ukuthi mina I want to do business in KZN or eThekwini, bheka ezinye indawo so that you can grow your business. Again, don't think of being rich, think of being wealthy. And sometimes as black people in business, shut up and do your business. Don't be so fleshy kakhulu. Ladies and gentlemen, corporate pledges to the ECD fund program. Let me invite on stage Mr. Nduduzo Ngemandlo simnikeze ihlombe eza ngaphambili.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Greetings to the Honorable MEC Absentia, His Worship the Mayor, the leadership of the city, led by the Speaker and members of the Executive, Acting City Manager, and the rest of the management. It gives me a great pleasure and privilege to stand before you today and invite you to now officially declare your pledges to the ESD program and the Africa Procurement and Indaba Support, because the eThekwini Mayor has opened up very nicely and given us a 50 million rand capitalization to the fund. And clearly, the city is open for business. So what I've often realized, Madam Speaker, I've always wanted to say that, by the way, is that our government is not short of ideas and progressive solutions. But what lacks in this environment is a competing and a compelling complement from private sector. One of the biggest risks that the unrest exposed to all of us, that we are a society that is very fragmented economically in the main. So such programs are meant to bring us closer. Madam Speaker, the government led an initiative through trade and industry many years ago that introduced and ushered in sector transformation charters, where the captains of industry have agreed to support the program of transformation. But in those sector transformation charters, Madam Speaker, there's a huge omission which has set us back, is that all of these charters, they place government at all levels, local, provincial, and national, as the custodian and facilitator for the implementation. And government, for a very long time, has been absent. So through these initiatives, we bring life to those sector transformation charters. We invite corporates to make pledges. Before we do that, I'd like to just request Babu Tulanzama, just Bambone. Can you stand, Mr. Nzama? Babu Nzama is the head of business support, who his team is here. They will share the contact details. Pledges can be emailed directly to his office. Also, Mr. Andrew Peterson, where are you? The head of supply chain. His team, support team is also here. So we also invite corporates to make pledges directly to him via email as well. And those of you who came prepared, we'd like to give you this opportunity here. Now, I want to also acknowledge in absentia the CEO of Leomet and JJS, who have already made a donation of 100,000 towards this ESD program. Can we give them a big? That is a sign of private sector confidence in seeing a capable city, a capable leadership and private sector putting their hands up and saying, let us work together. Lastly, colleagues, there's a study which has been recently done by Sanlam and Empowerdex on these elements of PE scorecard. Madam Speaker, it reveals very shocking findings. I'll just mention two of them to illustrate the point and to motivate you, corporates, as you prepare to open your checkbooks and make pledges. That study released in May this year reveals that on elements of the PE scorecard, which is ownership, management control, skills development, enterprise and supply development, and community socio-economic empowerment, those 5. On skills development, corporates across all sectors and industry in the country, they score above 90% compliance, Madam Speaker, on skills development. And on ESD as well, on paper, the compliance is above 85%. Now, if this is true, on the first one, on the skills development, we will not be having Fees Must Fall campaign, because private sector skills money is triple the National Financial Aid Student Scheme money that government runs. So every student should be supported. But on paper, you corporates are complying, but there's no visibility. And when it comes to enterprise and supply development, which constitutes 42 points of the PE scorecard, there's again alarming compliance, but no visible impact. Why I'm saying that, we wouldn't be having the chronic unemployment and skills shortages and amadela ngokubona. If there was compliance, there'll be none. So this is really an indictment. Least to say that when it comes to the element of equity, ownership, all industries, Madam Speaker, have failed to meet the minimum 25% black ownership in 27 years into a democracy. With those words, I hope you are inspired to bring forth your checkbooks. I'll just give 1 or 2 corporates that would like to make formal pledges. Can you have a roving mic, please? By show of hands, the roving mic. Start with the president of the PBF. I wonder what pledges, that's why.
As we promised, when do sense was 17 when I No, thank you very much. We would like from Black Business Federation side commits 150,000 to the Semini Fund. Thank you.
Thank you. Am I seeing more hands? I know you by name. Most of you. Hands, colleagues at the back. Am I seeing? Well, then I'll start inviting you by name. Let me invite Mr. Andile Khoza from Stostel. First. Table 2.
Well, morning, colleagues and everybody, protocol observed. Pledging is easier. We already have carried this project for 2 years. My pledge is to continue to assist, to sponsor the corporate back office beyond to now. Thank you.
CEO of Black Umbrellas, Mark Franklin, table.
We're a non-profit organization in a very challenging time, so we can't pledge financial support, but obviously through the non-financial support that we provide, we give our other program our full support. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. A round of applause. Mr. Tango from the Liquor Authority. We want your ESD contributions, colleagues. We want them. Remember, you get BE points. Your pledges, they work for you too. You become a good son and daughter of the city, corporate sons and daughters for that matter. So, going once, going twice. Thank you very much. Colleagues, you've seen Mr. Nzama, you've seen Mr. Andrew Peterson. Please communicate via those two offices any future pledges going forward. We'll soon be unveiling the portal, the city portal as well, for further interaction with businesses. I thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Someone called Madlov. See, we vote of thanks, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know, Madlov, the brothers who got cash. What they do with the cash? They bring it to you, my brother. We got cash. Ngala si invite on stage a Tegwini speaker, Madam Speaker, umama ukhansela weziwe two sisimnike ihlombe ezakwenza i-vote of thanks.
Thank you, Program Director. I think DJ knows that I love this song. I wanted to dance. Thank you, Program Director. Greetings to MEC and His Worship the Mayor in absentia. But I want to observe all protocol because of time. You all want to go back to work. Good morning, everybody. It's good day or good morning. Earlier on, when we entered the hall, I was speaking to DCM Ecod, Phillips Tolle, and I said to him, there are few women in this room. And he kind of had an explanation why it is like this. And I said, no, no, no. But I want to say we appreciate this initiative by Umbimbi and all the stakeholders. This is really going to change the situation. We're going to have more women. I mean, we are more than men. The statistics show that we are more than men. Let's make sure that women, we get involved. This is an initiative that has been opened for all of us. Today, we unveiled a Tegwini Supplier Development Fund program and the Africa Procurement Indaba 2022, with the aim of driving radical socio-economic transformation and changing the economic configuration of the city. We are a government hard at work in our quest to improve the lives of all citizens by opening the economy to benefit township and rural entrepreneurs. In the business sector, the city is working continuously to create development and empowerment opportunities like the programs Mayor Councillor Kaunda has unveiled today. Ladies and gentlemen, we can assure you that in eThekwini, we are steadfast and resolute in our efforts to transform the business landscape to reflect the demographics of the city. Unlocking the economy will ensure we achieve economic growth and improve the lives of our communities. On behalf of the leadership of eThekwini Municipality, I'd like to thank MEC Ravi Pillay for your unwavering support. We are truly honored to have you witness these programs so that we can work with the province to achieve more. To other stakeholders, captains of industry and business sector, these programs would not be a success without your valued input. A heartfelt thank you to everyone who is here today. Thank you for the powerful messages of support. No Ndaba, your message was sweet music to us. We also commit ourselves to work with you. Do thank you for your begging hand. I'm sure we're going to have more pledges. In closing, businesses are key to unlocking economic opportunities. Let us work together to create viable and sustainable business models that will contribute to a better tomorrow. As we get closer to local government elections, I'd like to encourage all those eligible to vote to go and exercise their right on November 1. Let us all make sure we make our mark to ensure development and transformation continue in eThekwini. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Samankulugu, Madam Speaker, Mama Wezi Wetusi. Sisifike ekupheleni program yethu, and then we'll enjoy breakfast, and then ukhona no Naima K. Siyabonga guys, all the best. Maximize the moment and make money and make money and make more money. Siqashe abantu senze imali. May God bless you. Naima K, please. Nimle ihlombeza ngaphambili uNaima K. Thank you.
Kuhlile kumnyama Hliziyo yami yaluxola Amehlo wami yalukhipha inyembezi Ngiphoxwe nguthando Bonke labantu bathembele kuwe Ubathembisile konke kusolunga Sungangiyeki nami ngibambeke isandla Ngifuna lo thando Wethando kabukhona na Wethando ungihlukumezile ungishijile iqondo Thando, thando, thando Kabe ngomoya ngikuthembe na Thando, thando, thando Kabe ngomoya ngikuthembe na Hey Angisakwazi nokuthemba Hey themba ungilimazile Mengifuna uthando mina Lungishaye phansi lungihlulile Sungangiyeki nami ngibambe ngesandla Ngifuna lo thando Sungangiyeki nami ngibambe ngesandla Ngifuna lo thando Wethando kabukhona na Thando ungihlukumezile ungijijile iqondo Thando, thando, thando Kabe ngomoya ngikuthembe na Wethando kabukhona na Wethando ungihlukumezile ungijijile iqondo Thando, thando, thando Kabe ngomoya ngikuthembe na Ay, ay Wethando, thando, thando kabe ngobuye ngithembe na wathanda ngabukhona nathanda ngabe thando usihlukumezile ujijile iqondo thando ongabukhona wathanda ngabe Thando, kabe ngobuye ngithembe na. Good morning, everyone. Yes, the name is Naima K. There was Utando from my third album titled All About Love. And I trust we all believe in love because the next song that I'm about to do right now is titled Shaizandla from my first album. Please enjoy. And please feel free to sing along, ne? It's a beautiful morning. This one is called Utando. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Shy is under, if you still believe in love. Na 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 na. Shy is under, eh, eh, eh. Shy Sandra, but if you still believe in love, I'm so shy Sandra, if you still believe in love. I believe we all believe in love, ne? Ngabukhona lana othi yena akathandi muntu. Ngabukhona lana othi yena akafuni muntu. But if you still believe in love, la 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 la. But if you still believe in love, it's in Siena, hey, agathandi mu. Ngabukhona la othiyena, hey, akafuni mu. Hey, la 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 la. But if you still believe in love. But if you still believe in love, but if you still believe in love, yeah. So mengase nginicele nje ukuthi ngicela sisho nje kancane. Singasho ne? Nje uphisinyana. But if you still, yeah, kwaze kwamnandi. But if you still believe in love. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. Sengvala nje now. I'm going to do a song. It's a brand new song. The one I did with Kelly Kumalo, my sister. It's Lomlilo. Ayikaphumi ke. Kodwa izophuma nje soon. I hope you guys will enjoy this one. Thank you so much for having me. Share. Feel free to dance with me. Feel free to sing along. No mangabuhleli phansi. Hey. Bazamile. Basamugu siphazamisa. Angeke bakhone. Sabatanisa. Savele sabaphazamisa. Wasange bakhone. Ihamba kanje, I'll teach you guys. Uthando lwethu nina nisiluvutha amalangabi. Amalangabi. Uthando lwethu lunjani? Luvutha amalangabi. Amalangabi. And then Lomlilo uzovuthi ngunaphakade. Hey, ngunaphakade. Lomlilo uzovuthi ngunaphakade. Ngunaphakade. Can I see those hands and sithi kanje kancane nje? Hey. And then listen, if Kelly Kumalo was here, ubezothi ne? Kudala be siqalaza. Bengabaza uthando lasemazulwini, zulwini. Kudala be lulaza. Bemelane uthando lasemaphakadeni. Uthando lwethu luvutha amalangabi. Amalangabi. Uthando lwethu luvutha amalangabi. Amalangabi. Lomlilo uzovuthi ngunaphakade. Hey, ngunaphakade. Lomlilo uzovuthi ngunaphakade. Hey, ngunaphakade. Lomlilo, yeah. Shit. Aigo. Lomlilo, yeah. Lomlilo. Hey. Lomlilo. Uzofuthi ngunaphakade. Hey, ngunaphakade. Lomlilo. Uzofuthi ngunaphakade. Hey, we're gonna. Thank you so much. It's Naima K. Thank you so much.